Okay, so Trump got 34 counts against him, indicted. He is found guilty by a jury of his peers, which is ridiculous, of course. Not one Republican among them, all Democrats. That's not a jury of your peers. Trump, though, is now officially a felon. So we're going for the felon. But that's your choice this time. I don't think the Democrats understand what they've unleashed. Right now, the internet is blowing up at how much money they're going to donate to Trump. The donation site has blown up and shut down. People are giving so much money to him here. Kevin O'Leary is back on the 5, and they bring him on to kind of talk about business and what's going on in New York business. And basically, the New York business is the brand is gone. Kevin O'Leary specifically says Robert De Niro, in coming out against Trump, De Niro has ruined his own brand. Are you talking to me? Yeah, I'm talking to you. I don't see anybody else here. Welcome to Doug in Exile. I'm so glad you're here with me to go over the news.
And then they have a protest of Robert De Niro yesterday. He's a fool. He's a broken down fool standing out there, and he got maggot.
He got maggot. Yeah, because all the MAGA guys were yelling at him. And Robert De Niro, you don't understand, like, as a celebrity, he's used to going out in public and just having people just only positive. Ooh, it's such an honor to be in the same room with a celebrity just because you're famous, you're royalty. And now about half that crowd did not appreciate him coming out and doing a campaign event, a professional campaign event for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris.
The Biden campaign's De Niro stunt, which bombed harder than Robert's last 5 movies.
Oof. By the way, most of media agreed. De Niro, do not do it again. This is Democrats saying you screwed up.
This was a bad idea. This entire thing was not a great idea.
Step away from celebrities. I don't think it helps. I think it kind of almost, in a weird way, sometimes backfires. Oh, those liberal Hollywood elites, and they're well-intentioned, and Robert De Niro is well-intentioned, but I think staying away from the courthouse would have been the best thing.
I spent a fair amount of time out in Los Angeles with Hollywood types, and I've always said to entertainers to think this through.
He's saying that why would you destroy half of your audience by coming out and telling people your political ideology? By the way, it's the opposite of that for me. I'll explain why right after Kevin explains his side.
You don't want to get into this kind of narrative because you're going to make unhappy 50% of the people that go to your movies. 50% are going to say, I didn't hire you to tell me who to vote for. I hired you to be a great actor.
Now, I'm the exception to that rule because I used to not talk about my politics. I certainly didn't mix them in with my comic book stuff and my animation for Hollywood. But what Kevin O'Leary does not understand is that the 50% that is for Trump is much bigger than the blended audience I got for cartoons and comic books. And I mean, hundreds of thousands, perhaps even millions more people that I have are fans of mine now than I ever had comic books, video games, and animation for the arts. So the arts were much smaller.
I think he hurt himself. He hurt his brand. And he's definitely got what I was listening to that thinking to myself, you know what Biden should do? And Judge, I know you're going to tell me technically this is impossible, but maybe he can do it and get credit for it. When and if Trump gets convicted of any of these charges, he should pardon him that second.
Oh, Kevin, you naive child. We've said this before. He thinks Biden's going to pardon Trump. The whole reason, see, Kevin still is behind in the game. Someone get him up to speed. He thinks Trump went to court for being reasonable. He didn't realize this is a political hit job by Democrats. Might be by Biden or by the Department of Justice, but they're not going to turn around and pardon the guy. They just blew their whole wad on these court cases. Like, that's the whole purpose of it. And now the last thing they're going to do is pardon Trump, even to look magnanimous.
And clean the record and say, I'm a man that wants to compete on the merits of our policies. Let's start debating. That would lift him out of the garbage that he's involved in with this kind of De Niro stuff.
What Democrat wants to argue and compete on the merits of a debate? That would remove all of the diversity, equity, and inclusion stuff. If it was about merit, they just go, hey, may the best man win. Remember that old saying? Well, now it's like, yeah, Biden does not want a fair fight. He doesn't want to argue the issues. He wants the media to go out and tell you how dangerous, how Trump is not going to leave the office. They're going to lie. He doesn't want to debate issues and the truth. And all I'm saying is, if they're going to lie about it, and they're just going to lie about it, then I say you cut your gloves off and it's time to I don't mind calling them names. I'm going like, it really is calling them names worse than, that's how you get into the pig pen with them. Call them better the names than they call you, because they are here to lie and destroy your family, your country, and your job. Now, you might not want to raise your voice when they come after your family, but don't come after my family. Okay? You guys crossed a line. You came after my faith. You came after my family. You came after my job. So now we're going to have some fun on this election.
Now, I know you can't do that because it's a New York.
You're right.
But can't he find some way to take credit for it by getting a higher power in New York to pardon this? This has hurt our brand. I've said it 5 times. But what's the right thing for Biden to do to clean up the fact that half the country thinks this is a politically motivated persecution?
Biden doesn't want to clean it up. He knows it's a politically motivated persecution. And the half that doesn't believe it's politically motivated are dumb or naive or Kevin O'Leary.
Well, Trump brand is very important, even prior to him being president. And obviously, all of these Trump brands all around the world on real estate are royalty-based businesses. I particularly love that because you don't need a lot of capital, but you get a lot of cash flow. So I've admired what he's done from the business perspective.
And Kevin is a great businessman. I love this too, that he pays a great compliment to Trump, saying, look, using your brand of your name, licensing it out to these buildings, give you instant cash flow. He has called out Trump as a great businessman. No Democrat has, by the way. And that's what's weird about Kevin O'Leary is he still thinks this is a fair game going on with Trump. And he just needs to get up to speed a little bit. He'll eventually come around to supporting Trump. But right now, he's still, I would say, he's a little childish and naive. His head's too little too deep in the wallet and not eyes up at looking at what's going on with the human heart in the Democrat Party, which is a black, crispy, freeze-dried, powdered little blotch on the sidewalk burning in the hot sun.
I bet you, if it's true that this election is going to be decided by independent voters, if I polled 10,000 independent voters right now, let's say I could just wave a magic wand and do that on a panel, I bet you after all of these 6 weeks or whatever it's been, you are still 99% totally confused on what the hell is going on.
Yeah.
Hey, I follow this stuff every day, and I'm walking around saying, what the hell is going on? It is hard to follow this legalese stuff. So yeah, I get it. The American public is not going to be as savvy about it.
Even if you spent full all day listening to this, which some people did.
Guilty.
They're still confused. And so I just wonder in that group of jurors if this is a mess. I don't even understand what the judge is telling me to do. That's why I'm asking you to read it over to me again, because they can't take it printed in and read it. But I just look at it and say to myself, wow, this is bad for the American brand. That's what I keep going at. It really is. It's just.
How would you like to do normal business in New York and then suddenly turn around and find yourself with 34 indictments against you for a felony? For normal business practices, which Trump did. That's what for an accounting error. This country is so far gone. I don't ever want to be before a Democrat for anything. I don't want a Democrat cop to pull me over. I don't want a Democrat boss to do a review of my work. I don't want Democrat human resources to look into me to see if it's fair or not. I don't want a Democrat who's looking at these videos and determining if I did something right or not. I don't want a Democrat, certainly don't want a Democrat in my jury or a judge judging me after this court case. Are you crazy? I'm Doug in exile.